Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Excelente. Cool. Okay. Hi everybody. Yes. Welcome to Frenzy Comedy. New material night. Woohoo! So yes, round of applause. We have all our acts in the room. Woohoo! We have fabulous acts who are gonna just have fun and giggle with. It's always interesting to see sort of new material. We'll never know what we're gonna expect, but hopefully we will be laughing and crying, not in sadness, but crying. I hope not. I mean, it's been lockdown, and I know it's been tough for a lot of people. And we're just talking about craziness before. Lockdown just validated that I was crazy, and I just never realized it before. And that's the joys. And we're going through it's like a step-by-step process, isn't it? And the whole gosh, it's quite exciting, it's not a tier system, but almost there to our full freedom, which is exciting. It's we everyone's coping in different ways, but it's just made me realize that some things have got to change. These self-help books that I'm reading, they're just pointless now. They're all just a waste. What's a 5-year plan now? That's irrelevant. No one needs a 5-year plan in the pandemic. What a waste of reading all those years. For me, it's just planning each week. And even then, that is quite a challenge. But it's not long now. And I don't know if you're feeling it as well, because obviously it's going out, meeting our friends. I feel like it's going to be not long until I don't know if anyone's seen Kevin and Perry. So Kevin Perry is like that scene where the girlfriends are getting ready head to toe to go out with their boyfriends. I'm going to be reenacting that, I think, for quite a while. My toes and, getting in the fur off my fingers. Who knows? I could be a wolf by now. So that's going to be fun. And also it is quite exciting to going to go out and see our friends. We are slowly doing that, which is really cool. And also making a living, going back out there and earning. This is about kind of, in a way, I wish I was a celebrity. Partly because, has anyone, guys, have you seen the celebrities are now making a living out of sort of video messages?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Good for them. Good for them. They can even earn when they're at home. That's great. But the thing is, I think these video messages, they're quite. It could be a little bit confusing. I think, and I just hope people don't take them too literally. I think the birthday messages, I think that's pretty cool. I like that. I wouldn't mind a birthday video message from somebody. Happy birthday. But a proposal message, of course I'm gonna say yes. Of course I am, if it's Channing Tatum. Of course I am. Who wouldn't? And obviously, if he did propose and give me a video message, I'd say Channing, yes, but I'll have to dump my boyfriend first. Let's not take it too literally. And what if someone says no? This could cause upset. And the partner would be like, why do you say no to the video message of a proposal? Is it because I asked Mark Owen to marry you? Maybe they're not a fan of Mark Owen. Yeah, but I saw Mark Owen on your wall, a poster the other day, and I thought you liked him. Well, no, because that was my sister's room. So, that could cause a little bit confusion. You never know. It's going to cause things out. Emotions could get mixed up here. And then also dumping. That's a tricky thing, though. I think dumping is by video messages. This is new material night, by the way. And I'm going on a little bit of a rant with this, and we're going to go on a rant with the other acts. But with the dumping, yeah, don't ask Leonardo to dump me, because I'm just gonna be like, I'm not accepting it. Send me another video because I like your face, Leonardo. But if it was Boris, someone said me, Boris dumping me, I'd be like, you know what? I get the message. Don't carry on. I got it, Boris. So this is where it's going to be quite interesting. And also, what is the day? What happens if celebrity has a bad day in the office? What's that like? I can imagine them being like, oh dear, man, I'm not going to be able to pay the mortgage for the next 3 months because I've just been dumping people. That's all I've been doing, dumping people. Apparently, they get paid less to dump people by video. So, let's hope they're not dumping too many people and it's more proposals they get. So, I'd be looking at the numbers. I'm no celebrity, but if anyone does want me to do a video message, I charge just £2 for 5 minutes. Just very quick messages. Now, on that rant, it's fun with messages, but we have got 10 exciting acts. I'm really happy to have them. Some of them never been on Frenzy, so this is going to be really nice first time for them, and others it's good friends to see back on Frenzy. How are we feeling in the Zoom? We're looking very kind of cool and chilled. I like this. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's bring on our first act. He's fantastic. Great to have him back. Let's have a nice warm round of applause for our first act, Mike Freed.
Hey, that's me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for accommodating my crazy schedule. Of course, I'm in the US and it's early here, so I gotta work and stuff like that. Don't know why my shoulder keeps disappearing. That's not part of the act. I assure you, though, maybe the most interesting thing I do. I'm excited. I've got 4 live shows starting tonight, opening for legendary Don Herrera. I don't know if you guys know Don Herrera, but so I'm excited, and I've got a set for tonight, and I'm going to do the newest of the material that I plan to do tonight, unless you guys persuade me to do otherwise by not laughing. So this is a bit disjointed because it doesn't flow with my set, but here we go. So I am semi-retired. I work full time, but I play shuffleboard every afternoon, and I only go out to eat for the early bird special, and I have trouble seeing over my steering wheel. I like to write eulogies for total strangers that I encounter during the day. Not all of them, just the ones that really piss me off, so I can try to find the best in them. Like this lady in the blue Chevy pickup. She cut me off in traffic and she gave me the finger, but her cuticles were impeccable. And her bumper stickers were reasonably symmetrical. Apparently her son is an honor student, and she's a patron of the arts. By that I mean she favors a sticker of Calvin peeing on the Ford logo. So, I don't know if they do that in the UK or not, but that's a thing here, especially in Jacksonville. So I hate it when... No, wait, I don't hate that. Any married people on the call that I can see? There we go.
Hey.
Jeanette in the black hole, and Stephen. Did she take that last name, Stephen? Mawini?
Yeah, unbelievably, she did, yes.
Wow, you must be an amazing catch. No, that's a cool name. There's this study out by this guy named John Gottman. He is a Harvard psychologist and a foremost study in marriage. He studied over 20 years, 750 couples. Over 20 years, he recorded their most intimate conversations. He monitored their every activity. And he found that 4 out of 5 couples prefer not to have their most intimate conversations recorded. And 93% prefer not to have their every movement monitored. So just a word of advice for the marrieds. We have a football team in the U.S., American football, sorry. We stole your name, but the Redskins has been caught up in this name change and cancel and change culture, which is I think, a good thing. So they're changing their name from Redskins, which is obviously a throwback of the skins of Indians. I don't think the new name is going to be that much less controversial. The Native American skins still strikes me as offensive, and Some people didn't think the name needed to change at all. They cited a survey of actual Native Americans, 90% of whom did not mind having their likeness used as the mascot for a professional football team. They did, however, mind having their likeness used as a mascot for a really bad football team that's beaten week after week by the Patriots and the Eagles, which is America's bird, and the Cowboys. I mean, that's the worst of all. Just kind of adds insult to injury. I have a way. Have I told my mansplaining joke before, Anna? I don't recall. I either didn't tell it or it wasn't memorable. And ladies, here's how I recommend that you describe for a man what mansplaining is like. Just with a little knock knock joke. You go knock knock. Of course, they go, who's there? And then you go mansplainer. And before they can answer, you say, now you say mansplainer who? And works better if I was doing an actual knock knock joke. Okay, that one's off the list tonight. Thank you for the feedback in the focus group. I do have a cure for mansplaining, and basically it would work in integration with Apple Watch. Everybody would have a certain number of words that they can use every day. When you've used up your number of words, you just have to stop talking. So men will either go to sleep or stop talking. In either case, it'll leave some room for others to talk. I like name brand products. I like products that become so popular that they're synonymous with the product itself, like Kleenex for tissue, and Band-Aids for adhesive bandages, and Karen for bitchy white woman. I have my eye on a legacy. I want the Mike Freed to be synonymous with the deodorizing toilet puck. Nothing makes a urinal smell better than Mike Freed. And I'm trying to come up with a best-in-class enema that I plan to name after my ex-wife. You know, when you're constipated, think about Cheryl Dantino. Cheryl Dantino will clean you out. Hey, those are my new jokes. Thank you for the feedback.
Brilliant. Good. So at the eulogies, do you charge for these eulogies? Pardon?
You said unities?
Eulogy.
Oh, eulogies. No, they just sort of feed my soul.
Okay. Nice. You know, you can, I don't know, I could imagine you kind of like putting these kind of eulogies through people's doors and with an invoice or something. Oh, lovely. That was really cool. Mike Freed, fantastic. Let's have, yes, Mike Freed. Let's keep that going as well for our next act. Stephen Mulwini. So there we go. Yes, Stephen Mulwini. Keep that going. Lovely. Cool.
Wow, that was like the clap for carers of week 10, that was, wasn't it? So I'll do a little clap to bring me on. And thank you, Simon, the one person clapping there. You'll forgive me, so I'm just checking out my computer, because last time I was on Frenzy Comedy, my internet died just before I went on. Sadly, true story. So I'm just making sure it's okay tonight. I mean, I used to be worried. I thought the thing that's going to ruin my comedy career is a 1-star review. Unfortunately, now it's Virgin Media. But we'll see how we go. Let's just hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, you got to have your fun. You got to have your fun. So, you got to break it up, these Zoom gigs somehow, because I think I'm going to be doing them for a few weeks yet. Anna was talking about going back to live gigs, but I think I'm going to wait a little while. And it's nothing to do with the virus. It's just that I've got to shift 2 stone of lockdown weight to fit back into my clothes. Then I might be able to leave the house again. So, but that might take a little while. Now, some of you will be trying to work out my accent. Let me save you the bother. I'm Northern Irish. Yeah, that's right. An Irish person doing stand-up. What a novelty, eh? So, but it can be difficult to tell where my accent is from, because it's got mangled. I've been living in England for a long time now. But there are a few key words and phrases that give me away. So let me tell you what they are. I'm going to tell you the 3 tests you can use to find out if someone is from Northern Ireland. Number 1 is to ask us, what would you use to increase water pressure in the bathroom? And see if they say, somebody's ahead of me here, I like that. See if they say, par shower. Now, I appreciate we've got people all around now who have no idea what I'm saying. So this bit does come with subtitles. I'm saying, par shower. Par shower. If you answer that, then you know they're from Northern Ireland. Now, test number 2. Test number 2 is to ask us, how many syllables would you put in this word? How many syllables would you put in it? If you say 2, that is the right answer. Film. Don't forget the extra U in there as well. And test number 3, as well as adding extra letters, there's also some letters we never pronounce in words, like this one. You'll know for some reason Northern Ireland because we never pronounce the L, the O, the N, the D, the O, or the N there. We never say those letters in that word. So that's how you can test if somebody's from Northern Ireland. It's a strange little country. I like to think of Northern Ireland as Schrodinger's country. It's partly British, it's partly Irish, and which one it is really does depend on the observer. And also, we do kill a lot of cats. No reason for that, but that seems to be true. So, but yeah, so I'm from Northern Ireland. I've still got connections there. My dad still lives there, which has made it quite difficult sort of staying in touch with him during lockdown, because I think it's fair to say he's not really embraced modern technology. I don't know if any of you have this where relatives are far away, but if I want to ring my dad on his mobile, I have to go through a bit of a process. It's one, I have to ring him on his landline first. 2, then I have to tell him to turn on his mobile, and then I can actually ring his mobile. So it kind of sort of defeats the purpose if the range of your mobile phone is within earshot of your landline. But that's what it's like trying to contact my dad. And obviously, I want to see him as well. So we've tried to use Skype over the pandemic. And let's be honest, there was no way he was ever going to work out how to install that for himself. So this is genuinely true. What I had to do was to buy a cheap tablet, set it up for him, and then stick it in the post so he would have the tablet to use Skype. So so when people talk to me about video delays, I kind of go, I don't know, it depends. The postman gets stuck in traffic or not. That's where it works for me and my dad. But yeah, it kind of negates new technology of my dad when you've got to use a kind of older technology to be able to access it. He used to keep homing pigeons when I was a kid. I used to think it was a hobby of his. Now I'm beginning to realize, I think it's people telling him to expect a delivery between 2 and 5 the following day. It's the only way he'd ever got hold of it as well. So, but yeah, so it's strange. Don't worry. We can, I can slag him off on here because there's absolutely no danger he's ever going to see a Zoom show like this here. Well, exactly, yeah. Not unless somebody copies it onto Betamax Video and sticks it in the post to him. So please don't do that. So, but things with my parents never actually get any easier when you go through to them either. Whenever you get in contact with them, like when I used to phone my mum, this used to happen every week. Obviously on the landline, I'd phone her up. She'd pick up the phone and she'd say, "Guess who's died?" First thing, there's no hello, how are you? How are you doing? Straight in with that. And then she genuinely would insist that I try and work out who had died. So then would begin the weirdest game of guess who you ever played. It goes something a bit like, is it somebody with grey hair? Oh, yes. Click, 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 click. Is it a woman? Oh, yeah, click. Does she have glasses? Oh, well, thank goodness, at least it's not Granny, because that is how my mum would tell me. So, and then really, the bit that really got annoyed me was after that, you work out who it was, you go, you'll never guess what's happened to them. Oh, great, more games. So how are we going to do this one? Shall we try charades? Let's give it a go. 2 words. I'll be like, oh, Mum, that's a terrible way to go. And she'd be like, I know, prostate cancer. So, and before you slag off my mum, just ask yourself, do you want to watch your mother try and mime prostate cancer to you? No, you don't. And with that thought in your mind, I'd like to leave you with that visual image burned into your brain. I'm going to say goodnight. You've been a lovely audience. Enjoy the rest of the show. My name's been Steve McWhinney. So,
brilliant, Steve McWhinney. Fantastic. Great. Guess who? Brilliant. And maybe she kind of like doesn't, I don't know, I just thought maybe she doesn't sort of say hi and go straight into it because it's to sort of save money on the phone bill. No, maybe that she's going to talk about a lot of people dying. Who knows? You know, let's save a little money with the intro, not doing an intro. That's fantastic. Great. So are we ready for our next act? So we've had Stephen, a nice round of applause in the Zoom room. Is he ready? He's looking ready for Simon Hall. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Yo, yo, yo. I don't know how everyone else has been getting on through lockdown. I'll be perfectly honest, I've not coped very well. The only thing that's got me through really is video games, right? And there's been one video game above all I've been loving playing. Been playing a lot more, the new Mortal Kombat. I don't know if anyone else has been playing, tried out this new Mortal Kombat game, but it's proper difficult, right? Because you've got to play as this like grizzled ex-army war veteran who contracts COVID because they've updated it for the modern ages. You contract COVID, and then you've got to fight this immortal 300-year-old lizard woman with a sword. Fight. KO. Yeah, so it's a pretty brutal game. But I've been thinking, guys, this week I've been thinking about Jesus, right? I'm not religious. I just like the idea of having superpowers. I think that'd be pretty cool. If you're Jesus, you're basically like a wizard, right? So, like, who doesn't want to be a wizard, right? So I've been thinking, like, what would Jesus do if he came back for a job today? Like, because it'd be difficult for Jesus. Like, I mean, like, what would be his perfect job? I reckon he'd be a pretty good sommelier. I think Jesus is a wine expert. I think that tickles me as an idea. But like Jesus would grow up on the wrong side of the tracks, wouldn't he? Right? Yeah. So he's much more likely to end up in like something like construction. You don't want him crossing over onto the wrong side of the tracks, though, and like, you know, getting into crime. Instead of having Prey twins, we could end up with Christ twins. But like, if I was Jesus, personally, I'd be an athlete, right? Because think about it, right? Yeah? All you got to do is swim to win like a gold at the Olympics, right? Yeah. All you got to do is swim like 100 meters in what, like 45 seconds? Jesus could walk that. But like, like I was thinking, right? Yeah, what would Jesus do like to get followers? Because like back when he was first around, all he had to do was get followers, was like stand on a mountain, eat about meat. Yeah, that was kind of his whole deal, really. Like, you know, stand on mounts, eating about the meat, you know, going on and on about it. Like, what's he going to do nowadays? Like, you're going to end up with Jesus on social media. And like, the problem is, like, this is Jesus on Twitter. Like, how's Jesus going to get on Twitter, man? Like he's going to get crucified. Yeah. Because like, even if you post some like perfectly innocuous shit, like he's done right here, love thy neighbor as thyself. Like, you can't argue with that. Surely you can't argue with that. Like, Angry Darren can. Angry Darren is the kind of person who's so angry about the state of Britain that his profile picture is currently a British bulldog on a British flag in front of a British countryside, right? And Angry Darren replies to Jesus. He says, "Oh yeah, that's all very well for you to say, but do you know the cost of actually loving thy neighbor like yourself? Charity starts at home, you know." Well, Jesus isn't going to let this go. You know, Jesus is going to reply like calmly. He's going to say, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven." Angry Darren replies, "Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, you Britain-hating socialist? If the rich people leave, who will run the companies? Bloody loony lefty commies." Like, honestly, if Jesus ended up on Twitter, it wouldn't be long before we had headlines like this. But no, like, it's just the good thing about social media is you can have different social media for different groups. Like, Jesus could appeal to like 14-year-old girls by having an Instagram account. You know, the kind of thing where you could like post out like inspirational messages to them, like, you know, sort of life affirming posts over nice backgrounds, like calming backgrounds and things. And like, you know, he could also give out like diet tips, couldn't he? He could like give them like fashion advice, like, "Yo, girls, check out my crazy crucifixion ribs." I mean, honestly, you think body standards are bad today? You should see the original painting. But I really like Jesus' target audience. Like, Jesus' target audience is like the sort of the middle-aged, the yummy mummies, you know, that kind of area. Like, maybe he could do like a nice podcast for them, yeah, in which like he cycles around the country talking to celebrities. You could call it Christ on a bike. But no, guys, one of the reasons I've been thinking about all of this is I've been getting on the old social media, because I've got my Facebook page there. You can go and check it out. Please do go and check it out and give us a follow. But we've got like 225 people liking it, which is awesome. Right? What's disconcerting though is 233 people are following me. So there's 8 people out there who are following me but don't like me. Like, what's going on there, guys? What's going on there? What's even worse, right? Yeah, since I've started doing this bit of material, that number, the disparity between those two numbers has gone up even further. There's now like 12 people. Guys, it might be a funny joke to you, but at least laying awake at night worrying about who's out there, right? So please, just like the page, just like the page. I've been Simon Hall. Have a great evening, everyone.
Lovely.
Woo!
Simon Hall, fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, that is a concern. That is a concern. I feel that concern that just that small amount of people, like what's going on there?
Yeah, like what are they doing? What are they doing?
And I know that like I don't know if anyone gets to where you get a certain amount of likes for something, and then that's cool, and then the next day it's not more likes, you've gone down by about 3-4 likes. Like, hang on a minute. Who are these people? I know that feeling. And Jesus, gosh, I mean, I just saw like all those followers he has. That's an amazing followers. And he doesn't need to follow people, does he? Doesn't, as I noticed, he wasn't following any people there because everyone knows that he's all inside us, isn't he? So we've got that face. Lovely. Okay, good. Let's bring on our next act. That's really cool, Simon. And for our next act, is he ready? He's looking. Yes, he's there. He's like, yes, I'm ready. Let's have a nice warm round of applause in the Zoom from Callis Ellis Jarvis. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. You big go. Larry.
That's about the warm level of response I'm used to. Seems about right. Yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Callum Jarvis Jones, and as I'm sure you can immediately tell, I am exactly as posh and as handsome as that double barrel surname says I should be. For the benefit, particularly of Mike, I'm from a place in England called Yorkshire. You've probably never heard of it. And for the benefit of anyone who might be in London, I'm from a place in England called Yorkshire. Probably never heard of it. And I know what you thought when you saw my name above that Zoom marquee in those glowing lights. You thought, oh, here we go. Double barrel surname. This is going to be another public school educated tofflord. This is going to be somebody who spent his formative years getting buggered by the bigger boys. This is someone who probably held a disembodied pig's head for a future prime minister. This is going to be a guy who's eaten so many soggy biscuits that he now thinks that chocolate is a weird topping for a digestive. Just like Jacob Rees-Mogg. Also, just going to do a quick scan of the Zoom room to see who might be confused about the soggy biscuit. Just so we can make sure that those people can stay pure. Whereas when you actually see me here before you with my tattoos, my black heavy metal t-shirt, my black jeans, I apologise for pointing at my crotch, but it's Zoom and I can only go so far. And now you're thinking, this is the kind of guy with his shaved head and his luxurious beard. This is the kind of guy who flies into a rage at a supermarket because he's gone into the veg aisle and he's seen something called Monge 2. You're looking at me and you're thinking, this is a guy who goes fishing and he throws bream back because it sounds a little bit too much like brie for his liking. This is a guy who has a wrong end of the Dulux colour chart. A man who will only eat British beef roasted within an inch of its life with Yorkshire puddings and can only have his cholesterol level measured by the spoonful and has one bowel movement a week that has to be surgically repaired afterwards. Luckily, though, I'm none of those things. I am just another university-educated, middle-class, cis white male who's going to spend 5 minutes talking to you about his penis, Tinder, and the troubles that his penis gets him into on Tinder. If there is anybody who has the same penile affliction as me that I believe the medical community call baby dick, you will like to know that I have been discussing with the Mars company and we are legally entitled to call it fun size. Now, I only started doing these Zoom gigs fairly recently, and that's because I was getting to the point where I was thinking about setting up an OnlyFans. So just think of this as a nicotine patch. Stop me getting naked in front of you. Anna will be very thankful that is the case. Now, I was diagnosed with comedy back in February 2018. And obviously back then, Corona was just a beer. And the reason that he stayed 2 meters away from anyone in the supermarket was because they just fucking stunk. And we only suspected that Piers Morgan was 90 kilograms of sentient gammon wrapped in cling film rather than having it confirmed to us on morning television. Mike mentioned earlier about being married. I am technically married. That's the biggest change that's come since doing comedy, is that when I started comedy, I was married and now I'm separated. Yeah, thanks for the sympathy. Cheers. And I'm just going to also have a quick check now to see if anybody's perked up now that they could possibly get with a guy who talks about having a baby dick and emits so much body odor that this isn't actually a camera effect. There's a few. It was a mutual separation. And I think the point that really it hammered home that we had to give it up was when I started faking my orgasms. And for all of you that may be curious, and I know you are, turkey baster, ready break. If you really want to freak him the fuck out, make it with chocolate milk. And I will leave you with this thought, because I don't know if I've been going 5 minutes, because I just talk and I see what happens, quite frankly. This is more like therapy than anything else. So given that we call basketball because we put a ball in a basket, and we call football because we kick a ball with our feet, and we call American football because Americans are American, then why don't we call boxing fisting? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Colin Jarvis Jones. Good evening to you.
Lovely. Good evening. Lovely. Fantastic. Thank you, Callum. Callum with a double barrel surname. In fact, I believe that that was really nice. Let's have another clap for Callum. Lovely. Callum, I think I also gave you, for some reason, on top of the double barrel, middle name, Ellis. So that was triple whammies or quantum whammies.
Yeah, I only keep that as my Facebook name so that people can't find me. Because otherwise, I'd be so easy to find with just these 3 names. But add the 4th one in there, that's impossible.
Yeah, I hope I didn't blow it for you adding that one in. Oh. Whoops. Good. Sorry to hear that you were married and then you were not. Did you send a video message to break the news, or would you do it face to face?
Yes, I paid my lawyer to send her a video message.
Fantastic, good. I mean, it seems to be the fashion these days. Wow. Well, to make it easier for her, I hope he looked like Leonardo DiCaprio. Good, that was lovely. I don't know. Anyway, that was really cool. Let's bring on our next act. She's looking very ready, very cool. Let's have a nice warm round of applause in the Zoom room for Janet Stewart.
Thank you so much, Anna. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Love it, love it. I relate to the landline because I'm a parent and I have a landline. Oh my God, yikes. I do know how to text. I do, because otherwise, I can't communicate with my daughters. And in fact, I started using Instagram recently, and recently I saw my 28-year-old daughter, and she proceeded to absolutely chew me out because I had no idea what I was doing. Oh my God, I got lectured so bad, it reminded me of me when I used to lecture her. Boy, did they turn around, and I never expected it to be this way. I'm telling you. Oh, Jesus. But anyhow, I am one of those old married ladies. Yes, I've been married a long ass time, and it's to the same man. Oh. But I'm really proud to say that in quarantine, I haven't committed murder. I think about it a lot. When he's sleeping, when he's on a ladder, and when we're hiking along the edge of a cliff. That's so bad. Well, when I met my husband, Roger, he was divorced, and I actually was happy because I was a woman who wanted to marry a divorced man. Yes, that's right. I figured that having 3 ex-wives took a lot of pressure off of me. Turns out he and I are opposite. He's neat, he's tidy, he's organized, and I just don't know how to do that. The other day, I actually walked into my bedroom. He was color coding my lingerie. I know, I should be happy. But I'm happy that he's not trying it on, right? Because I'm so afraid that he's going to look better in those panties than I do. But I'm proud to say, yeah, I'm still having sex, you guys. When he's not at home. But my husband, he loves dogs. Do I have any dog owners in the house? Okay. Well, he loves dogs. He told me he was half dog. And he's right. He eats like one. So I do have a confession. I'm a jealous wife. Yeah, you should hear the way he talks to the dog. Hey, buddy, come to your daddy. Okay, the problem here, he hasn't talked.
Uh-oh.
But dogs are kind, they're considerate, they're delusional. You think your dog's your baby, fine, I get it. Did you know there are dogs that'll take fat from your hips and put it in your lips? I'm sure you can find some demented doctor to take your snow.
Hello? Janet, can you hear us? Oh, no. Hello. Oh, Okay. Hopefully that was nice. That was great from what we heard, and we had most of it.
Great. Thank you.
She's there. She's back. Okay.
Hey,
That's okay. Cool. Yeah. Lovely. Janet Stewart. Fantastic. Ooh, brilliant. Yes. Dogs. I love dogs, and what a great friend to have along, obviously, with you in the house. I'm sure he's a lucky man in that sense. So good. Round of applause for Janet. Let's bring on our next act. He's looking ready for Joe Bingham.
Cheers, guys.
Lovely.
Thanks very much. I'm hoping you guys can hear me at this point. You might wish that you couldn't pretty soon. You'll notice pretty quickly that I'm from a place called Birmingham. Which I thought that moving somewhere else would make me seem exotic to the locals, but hasn't paid off. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to Birmingham. The guys from the UK. One of the facts that we love throwing out in Birmingham is that we have more canals than Venice. Don't know if you guys have also been to Venice to do a side-by-side comparison, but Venice isn't a shithole, which is always a good start. You also find that the English is often easier to understand in Venice as well. So would recommend a visit there. One of the facts that I'm not quite so proud of about Birmingham is that it's been voted the least sexy accent in the UK. Yeah, and that's for 5 years running as well. So they've put the proper thought into it. In a somewhat related poll, 80% of people said that they'd rather have chlamydia than the Birmingham accent. Yeah, having had chlamydia, you just take a tablet and it goes. But I'll always sound like this, so I can kind of see the point that they're getting at. I don't know if many of you guys have seen Peaky Blinders as well. Peaky Blinders apparently made Birmingham sexy again. The again is doing a lot of work in that sense. But it is very smart how they went about making Birmingham sexy, the Peaky Blinders. For starters, the main character, Cillian Murphy, not from Birmingham, clever move. The accent, they don't speak in a Birmingham accent, similarly clever move. And thirdly, they filmed most of it in Liverpool. Genius, absolutely genius. Something we're really proud of in our heritage back home now. And the Birmingham accent, I mean, again, for the international audience, Ozzy Osbourne, you'll probably be quite familiar with as a proud Birmingham export. But yeah, I've noticed that Ozzy Osbourne sounds a bit more like he's from Birmingham, whereas I never got that Birmingham accent. I got the Birmingham accent that more sounds like I just recently received mildly bad news at all times. It's a voice that I've had described to me before as unengaging. So I thought public speaking, fantastic hobby to get into. It's also a voice that I once had described as bleak, which I thought was quite harsh until I volunteered for a night shift marathons, and by the end, if someone had rang up and taught me how to do it, so kind of makes sense at that point. It makes small talk a bit tricky in dating because it doesn't really matter what you say if it always comes across like this. I remember speaking to one of my mates and he was asking where I was going wrong in quite often getting first dates but not second, and he asked what I was talking to him about. And I said, well, you know, I'm nearly 30 now, so the important stuff, like what's your 5-year plan? And where do you see me fitting in? And do you ever see yourself getting married? And he said that I was coming on a bit too strong and just to try the exact opposite of the tact that I was going for. So now what I do, and I make sure that I make really intense eye contact while I do it as well, because women love a listener. Take note, chaps. I ask them what song they want playing at the funeral. So mixed reviews on that one. I did go out with a yoga teacher the once, who halfway through the date asked me if I'd ever checked if my chakras were aligned, which is a really creative way of calling me a knob, which was nice. She said that she was picking up some negative energy from there, and I asked what it was that was making her feel like that. And she said that it was because when she asked what my birthstone was, I told her that most of the time it just feels like rock bottom. So you can kind of see her. Also noticed from doing a few Zoom gigs recently that a lot of people have grown lockdown beards, like very impressive lockdown beards. Like John, that is a fantastic beard. You'll notice that this isn't a beard. This is about 7 years growth. I'm not. I'm not.
This is about 7 days.
Yeah, honestly, manly men. To be honest, I think the last time I had a clean shave was about 7 years ago, and I got ID'd for bubblegum because it had a temporary tattoo inside it. So it's not alpha energy that I'm giving off. But I've done a lot of reading during lockdown. Look at me, fucking showing off. So I'll leave you with this little note because if you're not laughing, you may as well learn something, I suppose. So. No, obviously Brexit kicked off, and there's a lot of people that put poppies on their Facebook profile that think that the British Empire should be what it once was. And through doing a bit of history, there's only 22 countries in the history of the world that Britain have never invaded or just rolled through at some point. And you look at what countries they are. Sweden's one of them, which I always found odd because it's on the doorstep, isn't it? So you may as well, like on the way back from another round of pillaging. But I was always thinking, like, why did we never bother going to Sweden? And I reckon it's because back in the day, just going to a country and absolutely flattening it, that was like the banter that the lads had, you know what I mean? But what's the point in going to Sweden and knocking it all to the ground when everything there can be put back together in 40 simple steps with picture instructions? So, so I've been Joe Bingham. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Hey.
Joe Bingham, fantastic. Lovely. It has, yes. I like the fact that you've used your time wisely through lockdown by reading. Yes. I have as well. But reading, it's a bit of a weird one, reading, isn't it? Because our attention spans are sort of, on social media, on this, so it's hard to sort of focus. I read a book on how to quit smoking. That's right, need a bit of help, and I did quit. Yeah, I quit reading. That was that. But no, that was really cool. Your yoga teacher, that's pretty cool. Dating. I mean, I have no idea what it's going to be like going out in the dating world. I don't know. It's going to be insane, isn't it? Scary times.
Try and avoid yoga teachers would be my advice.
No, pardon?
Try and avoid yoga teachers would be my.
Okay, cool. I have been to yoga before, but I think that's as far as I'll go. So I'll take that advice. Thank you. Good. So let's keep on that going. Now it's a Joe Bingham, and next with the fantastic beard. 7-day beard, John?
It's probably about 2 or 3 weeks. But
I thought you were going to say 2 or 3 days. Okay.
It's just 'cause I didn't shave this morning.
Okay. Pardon? You did it.
9 o'clock shadow this.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, John Morris with a fantastic beard. Okay. Okay, fantastic.
Hello. Did everyone have a good Easter?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had a mediocre Easter. Fantastic. Yes, I'm going to do a set which I wrote for Sunday, and I want to utilise whilst we're still close enough to Easter to get away with it. I had a great Easter. Honestly, I ate so much chocolate that I'm pretty sure if I laid down, I would block the Suez Canal. Come on. Comedy show, folks. Look, I've got a little set on Easter. Don't worry if you're Christian and if what I say offends you. At the end, you can come up and forgive me. I'm from the UK. I know we've got people from across the world here, but I do think it's okay to joke about Christianity. It's not like that other religion. And everybody takes a deep intake of breath deep in, take a breath as they work out where I'm going. Yeah, that other religion. I do not want to get on the wrong side of Tom Cruise. He can fucking run. Look, I do have a single Muslim joke, which I'm up for telling. Don't worry, it's fine. I used to perform in a heavy metal band that would only play during the Muslim holy month. We were called Ramadanstein. I said I have some Easter material, and I'm going to give it to you. I have decided that I'm no longer impressed by Jesus, and I realised that this will be the second Jesus-focused set that we've had tonight. Jesus can walk on water. I've seen magicians do that, and with far more flourish. He fed 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. That's just tapas. He returned to the world after 3 days. I mean, we've all had those sorts of hangovers. What's to say Jesus didn't just have a major night out on Good Friday? Maybe getting nailed to the cross was a biblical idiom for getting as drunk as a skunk. Put it this way, if you actually got nailed to a cross, you would not be calling that day Good Friday. Unless it was a very different sort of nailing. You know, actually, I suppose it's also called the Passion of the Christ. I wonder, is the New Testament just an account of some ridiculous nights out? Are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John just some absolute lads? So I've decided to take this to its natural conclusion. And again, get on board, because this is the set. And I've updated the story of Easter through this lens. So let's take a reading from the book of Mark, chapter 4. We're about to hit the first pub when Jesus, the legend, said we should have one last supper before we were absolutely trolleyed. We got to the restaurant, but it was so busy we had to sit on one side of the Wagamama's table. We ploughed on, proper pumping ourselves up for a night on the town when Judas, the prick, invited the Romans over. Now, we all know Romans are the 33 AD equivalent of a student lacrosse team. More abs than brain cells. It would have been fine, but the issue was Jesus was a lightweight. If he even sniffed a Jägerbomb, he'd be showing the girls his miracles. Yeah, we get it. You can turn water into wine. Honestly, he was gullible too. We once made him believe that his mother was a virgin. Honestly, I still think he believes that. Now, the night went real south when we lost him at 1 a.m. We searched all the clubs. He wasn't at Ye Old Holy Water, nor the stables. He wasn't even at his favourite gay club, Nazareth. Honestly, he'd go there so often, we called him Jesus of Nazareth. We finally found him at 4 a.m, butt naked, attached to a cross. He was delirious, spewing some nonsense about being the Son of God. I mean, Jesus. We took him down, we dragged him to his man cave, and we told everyone to leave him alone as the Romans had absolutely murdered him. We heard nothing from him for 3 days until we finally emerged in search of food. He was absolutely stoned. You know, what's to say that isn't what happened? It was a bank holiday weekend after all. Make a film out of that, Mel Gibson. Look, my final thought is Jesus came back after only 3 days. In the UK, we've had people who've had to lock themselves inside for 13 months. Screw Jesus. The masses returning to normality post-COVID. Now that's a second coming to get excited about. I've been John Moyes. Thank you for not giving that a shot. Lovely to be here.
Woo! Great. Brilliant, John Moyes. Yes. Gosh, nailed to the cross. Ooh. I mean, back in those days, I think if I saw Jesus nailed to the cross, I'd be like, that's one hell of a stag, dude. Shit. I don't know. Jesus, he's been a lot of talk lately. I like that. Good. Well, let's carry that through. That was really cool. How are we feeling in the Zoom room? We're looking chilled. I like the way Callum, so I meant to say earlier, has phased. I haven't seen this before, but he's phased his background, phased his room. So as if like we wouldn't be able to see how messy it is just because it's phased, you know. I kind of wish I could do that. Like when I was younger, my parents coming through, just phase. Is that when you put all your clothes in the cupboard? That's really cool. Never seen that before. I love it. Okay, let's keep it going. A round of applause in the Zoom room for the lovely Maya Kioska. Kioska? Kolaska, yes.
Alaska, yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, how you doing? How you doing?
Hey.
Now, that is the kind of normal greeting that a normal person might get on any normal day. However, when you're nearly the height of a bed, I just get, you're tall. The first 87 or so people that pointed this out to me, I have to thank you. I spent the first 16 months of my life wondering why I had a constant camel toe. Now, the first question I always get asked is if my family's tall. For some reason, knowing that both my mum and my sister are nearly the height of a telephone box, people find strangely reassuring. What if I said I was spawned from a family of leprechauns? Would I be immediately dragged off by a load of people in white coats to do lots of probing? Now, what I don't tell people is that there is another one, the runt, as we call her. I did go and do a secret DNA test, I know. And it turns out she shares the genetics of a garden gnome. Now, I knew we couldn't be related when she stopped growing at 5'9". Now, once I'm kind of reassure people of my genetics, the next question people usually ask me is if you've always been tall. Let's just say that by the age of 6, I was cast as the angel Gabriel in the school nativity, as it already looked like I was speaking from the heavens.
Hey.
By the age of 9, I was dragged out in front of the class by my teacher to demonstrate the height of a medieval man. And when I was a teenager, the deputy head at my school went into the classroom of a boy I was dating to hand him a large recycling box so he had something to stand on. Now, by this time, I was about 2.1 yards, or 10.5 pairs for those of you who like using metric these days. Maya, I bet you had some absolutely cracking nicknames that haven't scarred you mentally, emotionally, or horizontally. You'd be absolutely right. Please don't eat me. You guessed it. Godzilla, number 1. Number 2, Eiffel Tower. A beautiful demonstration of how creative teenagers can be when they really put their minds to it. Or my favourite childhood heckle, "Oi, you! Don't climb a tree!" Less of an insult, more just pointing out my top strengths. Now, if you think I'm telling you this due to being some kind of self-obsessed narcissist, you'd be completely right. Whilst I'm here, I also want to use this opportunity to raise awareness of some of the issues that tall people face in our society. I don't know if you've read the book Invisible Women. It basically presents various statistics that kind of show how the world is designed for men. My idea, invisible tall people. Now, I've got some stats from my first draft of my book that I want to share with you just to see if the type of thing people might be interested in. I will warn you, some of these are quite hard hitting. Every 9 seconds, a tall person gets asked if they play basketball. A shocking 1 in 2 tall people have been asked by complete strangers at festivals if they can climb on their shoulders. 98% of tall people suffer from what medical professionals call the 45-degree neck. You may recognise this from scenes such as tall people on the tube or tall people in the shower. And 56% of tall people surveyed said that the weather was actually different up there. They're just too scared to tell people. Now I realise this is all very bleak. You're probably thinking, what a minefield. What are the do's and don'ts when I'm faced with someone the height of 15 butter knives in a social situation? I'll leave you with my handy tips. Number 1, don't try and sit next to a tall person on a bus. That's seats for our legs. Number 2, do not think that running up to a tall person, shouting, huge, and running away is a satisfactory introduction. And third, and most important, please do not stare at our camel toe, even if it's looking you in the eye.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Is that
Woo!
yeah, fantastic. Woohoo. Good. Yes. And that's fantastic. And that's why I love Zoom so much. We can all be the same size.
Yes!
Woo-hoo. Surprise, if we ever meet face to face, say liars away, camel face to face, yeah. No, I know that feeling. What is it where they say like people wear their heart on their sleeve? For me, I wear my insecurities on my feet, on my shoes. That's right. I wear massive, like big shoes like that. So you're very tall. I'm not even 5 foot yet. So there is still hope. There is still hope. So yes, we could do like a BFG audition. You could be BFG. I could be that little girl, and it's good. But we are the same height on Zoom, and that's why it works either way. That was lovely. Let's have we got 2 more acts. So let's keep that going for our next act. It's good to see him. Keep going. Nice round of applause for Sad Coad.
Hi everyone, my name's Sam. I'm 24 now, so I'm coming to terms with a few realities about life. First of all, can't grow a beard very well, and physically this is how I'm going to look for the foreseeable. It's like a sort of low budget Chandler Bing if he was British, lanky, and had a constant need for reassurance. So I hope that's okay with you guys. And I recently brought an end to the best period of my life by entering into a fulfilling relationship. And she's an actual person, so big tick there. We're in that sort of loved up early stage where we're still finding out cute things about each other. Like she talks in her sleep and I have an all-consuming fear of emotional intimacy. One of the endearing traits that she has is that she's quite forgetful. Not in a major way. She'll remember important stuff like wear a mask when going to the shops, don't let off fireworks indoors, the Iraq War. That she'll forget, like leaving possessions in places they shouldn't be. Like the other night, she stayed over at mine, socially distanced, of course. And the next day she left, but she forgot her detachable electric toothbrush head. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I had the same reaction. How on earth is she going to brush her teeth in her flat when her detachable electric toothbrush head is in my bathroom? So I foresaw the crisis coming and I texted her something pretty chill. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was along the lines of, hey, baby girl, so good to see you last night. You're a shining light in this depths of hell we call living. Did you know that you left your detachable electric toothbrush head at mine last night? Wouldn't want your teeth to fall out. You've got such beautiful teeth. Your molars are incredible and your canines are as straight and white as a BBC panel show. Anyway, let me know when you'll be dropping by to pick them up. Yours forever, Sam. And she responded about 2 hours, 19 minutes later, saying she left it there deliberately. I'm a modern man, right? I've got a Monzo card. But does that not seem like a discussion that takes place 6 or 7 years down the line rather than after a few months? But, maybe the problem is with me. Like, I'm not great at sharing because I'm an only child. And that may come as a shock to you, but trust me, I've known my whole life. And one of the things about being an only child is that I used to go on holiday a lot with just me and my parents. And one time we went to Disneyland Orlando and it was great. You know, like trip of a lifetime. It was too hot, but otherwise it was fine. There was one thing that kind of unsettled me a bit when I was there. It's this little thing. I've not really dwelled on it, but we were walking through the park one day, and there was a guy who'd been paid to dress up as Mickey Mouse, and he was on his break. So he had his Mickey Mouse head off. He was smoking a cigarette, and he was flicking through a copy of Radio Times. And that it wasn't so much that he didn't have his Mickey Mouse head on so the kids would see Mickey wasn't real, or that he was smoking in a magical place like Disneyland. It was more the fact I couldn't work out where he got that copy of Radio Times from. That's exclusively published in the UK. It's just got listings for TV and radio in Britain. There's no international listing section. But, I didn't dwell on it. I didn't let it ruin the trip or anything. I just thought it was weird. Like, why would he have it on him? Did he bring it with him in the morning with the intention of reading it on his break? Did someone find it in the Lost and Found, or did someone bring it to him from Britain? And then But anyway, as I say, I didn't let it ruin the trip. We got some really nice snaps. So if you don't mind, I feel like we're friends now. I can maybe just share my screen with you and just show you some of the great photos we got. If you just bear with me. Sorry, guys, I'm just having some technical issues. Please bear with me. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let me see if I can find them. Okay. So this is me and my mum on Space Mountain. This is me and my mum in front of the Disneyland castle. She insisted on keeping the costume on. And this is me with Rihanna on one of the rides. Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me. Been lovely.
So good. Fantastic. Brilliant. Yes. Holidays, family holidays. I expect that must be quite fun going with your parents on family holidays. I don't know, like it's when I was 16 I sort of started thinking, I've got to stop going on family holidays. At what age do we stop? I remember once my mum was like, do you know what, you can invite a friend with you for a whole week. We'll all go together. So I did. I invited my boyfriend. Hey, she didn't like that at all. Friend, not boyfriend. So that's really fun, Sam. So we've got one more act. How are we feeling in the Zoom room? Looking good. She's fantastic. So let's have a nice round of applause for Pussycat Bangkok.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Anna. I want to start talking to you guys. The only social interaction that we have. So I'm gonna start talking from Steven. You said about you coming from Northern Ireland, and I have been to Dublin once. I'm so impressed. At the restaurant, they have so many choices of food on the menu. I even see boiled potato, jacket potato, fried potato, steamed potato, sand potato, and even the waiter look like a potato. And when Simon show a lot of things on the screen, I'm loving it. I love the fact that Jesus on social media. Wow, he's so in trend. It looks like the kind of thing I am seeing. Topless, handcuffed. I'm not sure if the only fan model got inspiration from Jesus. Even myself, I even have the handcuff. I even have, let me show you. Oh, yes. That's one of the Jesus inspiration, Simon. Thank you. Anna, I love your comment earlier about Jesus always in size art. It has been a lockdown for a long time. A lot of people are having problem and having a dry January. And now it is middle of April. I am still dry. So I need Jesus inside me right now, John. You're talking a lot about Jesus. So please brought your Jesus inside me, John. Anything will do right now. Colum, I love your fun size so much. That's so cute. From now on, everywhere I see you, I'm gonna say Colum the fun size. Also, Colum, when you talk about OnlyFans, I want to warn you one thing. As I am a Thai woman looking like this, and I do comedy online, I have to keep remind people I am doing comedy, not striptease. And don't ask me when the Zoom finish for my OnlyFans account. Steven, don't ask me again for the discount rate. Okay? I know we met before and I keep telling you we're doing a gig together, but I'm not giving you the discount made rate. Maya, I want to experience your life of being 7 foot because I am similar to Anna. For me, I am 5 foot nothing. My life, I always just smell sock and bum. Story of my life. And when people keep saying to you, please don't eat me, I am screaming different thing. I would say all the time that eat me out will help me out. Sam! Oh my God, you're 24! Woohoo! I don't know what to do with you. I don't know. I think my underwear is older than you. Oh, I can't show it on the screen. Different kind of show. And you said your girlfriend is staying over, but you doing a social distance. That's so good. Are you using a 2-meter dildo? If you don't have one, you can order one from me. I have a 2-meter dildo that I have been using all the time in lockdown in the park. Because I know government said we can't stay over, but we can always go to the park. They're supporting. Dogging. And I always go for that. Joe, are you worried about Birmingham accent? I know you can't get rid of it. I have been living in UK for 20 years, but everyone who speaks to me think I just came from Thailand on holiday last week. Guys, it's time for me to go now. Oh, I forgot. I haven't talked about Janice, but I think we have too much in common. And I'm pleased that we both haven't murdered our husband. Actually, my husband still remains in the garden. I bury him. Good night, guys. Thank you.
Lovely. Pussycat Bangkok. Good. Fantastic, guys. Well, lovely. Really fun evening. Thank you for those who are tuning in as well from the outside and watching. It's been a really fun evening to meet sort of acts around the world as well. So thank you for watching, and also round of applause to our act that we've had this evening. So thank you. Lovely. So yes, until then, keep safe. We'll be back next week.